Virgo, I've laid your cards already, so just to see if you want to stay around. At the basis of the reading, we've got some very loving energy. So I think, but internally I feel that you feel a bit disconnected from that energy and you're trying to work out how to get there. And that's the quest that you're on here. And it's a really interesting mix because although that's the basis of the reading, those are the only cups that we see. So I'm slightly scratching my head because I'm like, well, they want to get towards this. There's actually an awful lot of mental and physical energy here. A little bit of wands, but no other cups. So it's a nice ending. It's a wise ending, but we'll definitely be capping the cards at the end because I feel like there's some further fruition that needs to come towards partnership, towards happy, balanced families, towards being in a situation with what you really love, whatever that means to you. So I'm going to dive in. You, in the beginning, we have the Three of Swords. So a feeling an absence, delay and separation. It can be heartbreak. It's such a plain card, isn't it? It's such a dreary background. Really, it says the advice of this is bring logic to the heart. So maybe that's why we've got so much logic going on. Maybe you've taken on the advice of the Three of Swords and thought, well, this is the only way I'm going to get out of this. Is not by sitting around worrying too much, but I need to be logical about what I love. And that now is starting to unlock the reading for me. That makes sense. With the Three of Swords in your inner being, the way that you're acting in the outer world is with the Page of Pentacles and the Judgment, which says that you're sort of taking, it's strange to learn how to have an epiphany, but maybe there's an epiphany around learning, yeah, that's it, that makes sense. So maybe because you're bringing logic to your heart, because you're understanding you can't emote your way out of this, you have to bring some sword energy in, then you're learning how to do that. You're learning how to have these kind of swordy epiphanies somehow with these two. So the Page of Pentacles, new, fresh energy, really diligently trying to think, okay, how do I not get overwhelmed when I feel this absence, delay and separation, this heartbreak? I need to bring logic. So I need to have an epiphany about the fact that I can learn to do this, that it's not impossible. What's standing out for me today? The blue trees in the background of the Judgment, those tiny little blue trees here that sort of feel a bit like one of those Dr. Seuss or sort of 70s picture books. There's three of them, so something maybe there's a lot of blue in this card actually. Even the eyes of the angel are blue. So a kind of blue cast, a sad cast. Blue is the only colour. Blue is the saddest colour. That's a slightly sort of contentious French film about two young girls who fall in love. It was made probably 12 years ago now. There was some contentious stuff in it. It was a beautiful film, but I think the actresses felt really used. So is that feeding into this? Are you understanding that you're feeling used? Your youth is being used? Or maybe you're understanding, because it's about very young girls, they're at school. I think they're at school, or they're late teens anyway. Early 20s possibly. But so maybe there's a sort of feeling that, I don't know, it's such a random thing for me to come to that from looking at this card. So I'm thinking maybe you're understanding that some of this absence, delay and separation is because of there's a youthful part of you that can't connect, that needs to be attended to. Or maybe it's something you needed to learn in your youth, or maybe you're in your youth thinking, or A, maybe I'm not meant to meet the person of my dreams yet if you're very young, or B, is this something, am I having a revelation around how I dealt with the heart and this feeling of separation and absence that's to do with my youth? I mean, that's a really random view of the Judgment. But in essence, you are learning how to have an epiphany, using your studious energy in order to open up some area of understanding where things that will help you with this Three of Swords, this heartbreak feeling, will be unlocked. And the basis of the reading, these happy, happy cards. How to find love, how to be happy. You know, 10 of Cups, full, unbelievable happiness. Couldn't be better. And the Two of Cups, partnering with your sort of other, you, the person you're most compatible with, and who could be very different from you. Look at their clothes and even the attitude they have towards each other. She looks demure, he's looking right at her. Lots of passion. So, yeah, how can we find that kind of balance? How can we give our cup, our grail cup of love to the adequate, to the right recipient, so that we end up feeling balanced? You know how these kids are sort of counterbalancing each other, and these two are slightly counterbalancing other. Everything is balanced, like scales, as if you can lean back and you'll be held by the other. What else am I saying? The red and white of the house in the background there. Now the trees are not blue. We've now got more than three. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe, and a bush. The point being that they're green, they're realised. We're starting to sort of be out in the real world. It's not just conceptual. And again, there are trees here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the red and white house. So, look, I'd never noticed that before. How extraordinary. And how weird that I hadn't noticed it. The red and white houses in both of them. So they're the same scene, essentially. It's the same landscape of great happiness, of feeling at home, of feeling balanced. So maybe we're on the other side of the house, or coming from a slightly different perspective, where they're having this private moment of offering their grail cups. But yeah, it's a good home for us, and that's where we need to get. There's a slight halo coming off these two characters. They're slightly divine. You can barely see it. Anyway, there are, trust me, some light, sort of halo-like lines in the blue behind them. Whereas this one has a sort of circle of something blue, almost like they could be talking to something underneath those cups that's rather wonderful and divine and amorphous. There's that sort of strange sense of everything kind of blending in there. I like it. Okay, so this is what we're trying to get to, this landscape of balance, of love, of fulfillment, happiness, and your heart being engaged rather than having to use swords and feeling absent from others. In the recent past, the Two of Wands shows you thinking about how to conquer some new lands. You're not quite sure where to go yet, though, with this one. Again, well, we've got a pink and white house, not a red and white house. A sort of rosy, maybe sunset pink. No, but it's painted, isn't it? So some other version of that house. It's not quite what we're looking for. So you're needing to get somewhere else in the recent past. What else is standing out to me? Two towers. The sketchiness of these flowers here, the red and white roses, they feel a bit slapdash. Unclear about your direction, I guess. And as a potential outcome, the Ten of Pentacles. This is wonderful. Not only is this a balance, like the Ten of Cups, but now we're talking about happy families and a sort of sense of security as well, a sense of kind of generational wealth, obviously, but also security and understanding of your clan, of understanding of your part in it all, and how you fit in, feeling really held within that scene. So that's lovely. Stripes everywhere. I can see lots of stripes. Who else has got stripes? No one here. It's really interesting. Sort of stratospheres. I suppose it's layers. Look, stripes in the stonework, stripes in the nature on his cloak, stripes in the floor. So sort of layer upon layer of your family life becoming realised, and sort of, or your clan, if you don't have a kind of close family, becoming more supportive, really, holding you in that 10 and sort of reaching a culmination of some sort. So it's really beautiful. Coming up in the near future, the Queen of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. So you are still in that responsible energy of the Page of Pentacles, but this time you're putting some work in diligently to get to the bougie queen's position or to support her, one or the other. So she's the queen of hearth and home, where she's really respected and really looked up to, but she also looks after everyone. She's paid fairly at work. She's resplendent and sort of in control of her home. She might not like leaving her home that much. Might be her real place. So you're working in order on a task that feels like it's not quite reached fruition, so it's quite frustrating, in order to get to her. Maybe she represents some aspect of this beautiful Ten of Pentacles and this Ten of Cups that needs to be honoured within this process in order for you to get to it. The feminine aspect, the self-value. Maybe you're working on your self-value, which is always going to help in most situations. In your attitude, yeah, you're looking for, with the Four of Wands, you're looking for the perfect partnership. It's so lovely, it's so balanced. Their wreaths held aloft, the Hooper or the Mendip, the structure that they've put up, this tent, to celebrate with their community because they've found the right partnership, and that's what you're really, really interested in. Here in this pack, if I picked up now, the normal white bridge that we see at the back of the Five of Cups as well is now cream and fitting in with the background. So something to do with the home and the way that you get to this value, because I keep seeing those little red and white homes, and she's the Queen of Hearth and Home coming up in your new future. And here the sort of castle-like home is melding with the bridge, and the bridge is usually how we've got there from disappointment to this partnership. So maybe it's to do with saying that your partnership is around the home. There is somebody that you want to make a home with, or somebody at home already that you need to get into better partnership with. It's really interesting. But anyway, it's a lovely aim. You're working towards this. There's quite a lot of activity I can see from the people in the background as well, like they're trading or arguing or swapping something. Do you see them? That's interesting. And it's a stage card. You see these two lines. So Pamela Coleman Smith was a set designer, and so she puts these two lines on certain cards. So, for instance, the Two of Cups as well. So it's either seeing yourself, visualizing yourself like you were seeing it on a stage. I mean, maybe you want to be seen and see yourself in a relationship. That makes sense to me today. That's how you want to be perceived now. You want your partnerships together, and you want to be able to see that coming to fruition. In your environment, it was the Knight of Wands, but he was actually in reverse. No, was he in reverse? I don't know. We'll take him as he is. I think he was in reverse. I've just turned him over. So there's a sense in which there's an issue around libido and following your passions somehow. Or if it's in the upright, if we take it in the upright, that's what you need to follow. There are a lot of passions, and you need to follow those, I guess. Or maybe you're just around a lot of really passionate people and they're slightly throwing you off if it is in the reverse. Like maybe, this is part of your family setup, this Knight of Wands, somebody who follows every whim, goes from pillar to post, is quite sort of dynamic. Maybe that's part of what's making it difficult for you to settle with your Queen of Pentacles. It might well be, and this idea of the home being so important, maybe he's disrupting it slightly. Let's think about that. We're going to cap this so we'll know a bit more. In your hopes and fears, we do have in the reverse the King of Swords. You hope to be less punishing and be allowed to stay where you are in a way, or less strategizing. You want to hold on. You don't want to have to be in this mental, chilly energy that's slightly dysfunctional in the reverse, because it's just the sort of cold, hard. It's not helpful. It's just punishing. It feels as if your brain is working against you. And so maybe you fear being stuck with that energy, with the Four of Pentacles being stuck. Or maybe you want to hold on to something. I think you want to hold on to your dream, to this vision of what you want to see happening. And maybe you fear being stuck with a critical inner voice. and where it's all going. Getting out of, with the Six of Swords, this is lovely, using your mental processes become less punishing here. They are going from choppy water to calm water. You've got all parts of yourself in the boat. There's a sense of real understanding, and you're moving away quite vulnerably to nicer shores with, again, these beautiful trees that are in this depiction a little bit more clear. In some cards they're not. It's interesting. So you're moving towards a more clear, less shady, less blue outline. And the way you're doing it is with the Knight of Swords. You're taking a punt on something. You're dashing in order to jump on that boat and get onto the better shores. So I'm not quite sure what this, I know it's going to be very energetic the way that you do it, but I'm not sure what this punt is, what this thing you're having a go at is. I mean, you're definitely using that energy to push you across that lake, across those shores. You're very strong in the head, strongly in the head. I think you're probably very intellectual somehow, and that is where you're using all your energy. Let's have some capping to this, because I need a little bit of unlocking for it. It's less clear than sometimes, although I sort of see what's going on. Right, those two. This one was holding on a bit, which is the Five of Wands, using... Oh, and the Nine of Cups. Those are lovely, encouraging cards. They're saying wish fulfillment is coming. If you want to see yourself in this perfect relationship, in this balance of hearts, rather than all up in the swords, and also with the Ten of Pentacles, make a wish. Your Nine of Cups, she's got a hold of all of those cups like a kind of crazy fan. You are able to be happy, and maybe you need to use a little bit of the strategy. I was playing backgammon last night, but this is, here we have her using her kind of this brain that we know you've got, because we can see it so active here, to move people around in a sort of fun, competitive way. So the Five of Wands is the sort of, you know, the kids playing with their things. Here she's using that youthful energy, but being a bit more strategic, because she's got such a great brain. I love those two. I'm going to pull us a charm, which is a new thing for me, but I quite like it. It adds some energy. Let's see. Got a couple come through here. What have we got? The hare and the wolf, the howling wolf. That's amazing. And the hare. These are kind of magical. I'm seeing it very much as a hare, not a, yeah, definitely not a rabbit today. So these two. So it's the wolf is a very loyal animal that is with its pack and protects them. And the hare is very magical. And it means the fairies around. Are you protecting your pack from a sort of elemental energy? I can't believe you need to do that. You're certainly protecting your pack in a magical way. We talk about the lone wolf, but actually they are pack animals. So I think that's what that's talking about. Let's see if anything else comes in to clarify that. Let's now go on to the lovely Enchanted Forest oracles, which are, sorry, not oracles, tarot. So we're staying with tarot. We'll get one card from them and one from the Shining Tribe. So let's see, to add to this one, that came out very easily. Wow, the Wise Woman, she keeps wanting to appear at the moment. I think maybe because I've got my charms with her and she's casting auguries. I've got my charms with me, rather, and so she's sort of liking that energy. They always come out around the same time. So the Wise Woman is saying, you have got this kind of magical hair-like energy. Let's grab the book and see what comes out from that, because sometimes I like the whimsical energy of those ones. Let's see, organising all of this. There we go. The Wise Woman, number 2. Let's see if something triggers. Here we go. A meaning at a glance: wisdom, spirituality and mysticism, oracular advice, seeing the unseen, lifting the veil. So the Wise Woman wears a necklace of jet and amber, which the energies evoke that of light and dark, day and night, illumination and mystery. At a place where a forest paths diverge stands an ancient apple tree. One side, we've got some apple trees behind us. I wonder whether you can see they're in bloom at the moment. One side bears the silver apples of the moon, the other the golden apples of the sun. You can pass beneath these boughs to take either the dark path or the light path. There is an allure to both, and positive and negative aspects to both. Your choice is not obvious. The wise woman sits amongst the apple roots in this liminal place between possible futures. She won't make decisions for you, but she can help you. Liminal futures. Okay, she can help you. Skilled in the old ways, the wise woman works with her guides and spirits to read the auguries. Gathering up her oracular charms, she casts them upon the cloth, watching them fall. So it's bringing us back to that wolf and that hare. She now meets your gaze, arching an eyebrow with subtle amusement. Do you really want to know your destiny? Yes, you do. You wouldn't be here if you weren't ready. The wise woman confirms that there is a core of deep knowing within you, but you may need spiritual guidance to access it. Wisdom takes time, devotion, patience, and above all, willingness to accept and commit to the path you choose. The wise woman doesn't argue with oracles, and neither should you. Just read the signs, they're everywhere. So the wolf and the hare. Hares are rare to see, aren't they? And they turn up at moments to mean something. You know, let's look into what hares mean. Maybe I'll put that into the thing. But the wolf is alerting us to something that the hare means. Okay, that's interesting. Right, then let's get the Shining Tribe cards. Alerting us to something that the hare means. I'll put that in the notes. And here we go with the Two of Rivers, which is the Two of Cups, I think, again, and the Spiral of Fortune. I love that. Making something move forward in the area of the heart, the Two of Rivers. Let's read that first. And I won't go too deep with these because they're very long. I always say the same, but they also sort of, you need to really consider them. I don't want to throw too many new ideas into the reading. I just want to go with what we've got. Two of Rivers. So this lovely yin-yang, very Piscean sort of image. Change, something that's fixed is shifting. Openness to adjustment that allows change to flow smoothly. Peace in the midst of great activity. The possibility of love and romance. So it's the Two of Cups. We're getting to where we need to go. In some tarot decks, the Two of Cups shows two young lovers who toast each other and pledge their love. We find this idea implied in the two fish who join together to make a circle that makes their bodies flex. They have to make their bodies flexible the way that the lovers do. Must adapt to each other's needs and behavior. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. We've had the High Priestess, and it mentions her as well. The High Priestess, so this is a version of her, card 2, is darkness. In between we see a stone wall, the I Ching hexagram 48. This is on her card. So it's referring to the relationship to the High Priestess, which all twos have. So it's bringing us back to that. Your intuition is getting you into this partnership. Okay, I'm not going to go too much further, but it's saying, don't worry, there's a change coming with the Spiral of Fortune in what you love. It is something to do with what you know deeply, and it is to do with, so your intuition allowing the emotions to flow. Right, Spiral of Fortune number 10. Here we go. Breaking out of old patterns, change that liberates, gaining a wider vision. So both of these cards are talking about the same thing, change, a wider vision, the possibility of breakthrough, especially when a person seems to have gotten nowhere. Look at the spiral inside the circle, stare at it. You may find the blue begins to shimmer or the red vibrates with energy. I was seeing that here, look, in that blue circle that I was talking about underneath the rainbow. This is also another blue shimmering thing. When this happens, allow your eyes to move up to where the spiral breaks free. Let yourself experience that freedom in your own body. So basically, we know that there's some change coming around partnership, around love. You are getting there. That's some encouragement for us. That's really, really exciting. Now I'm going to take a La Lua tarot. It's fun to see some different images of tarot. This one I think I got on Etsy, and I'm not sure if it's available. You'd need to check. Seven of Coins. So that's, you were working diligently with the Seven of Coins to get your high value queen. So this is another version of it. So here we have you like that in the traditional version. And now we're being asked to think about continuing our work as he makes this beautiful painting, can you see, of the landscape. So let's read the little book, because it always has a slightly, it's a tiny definition, but it will give us a new view. Seven of Coins. The Lord of Success unfulfilled, Saturn in Taurus. Patience, cultivate, evaluate, re-examine, review, reflect, see the results, final decisions. Set before a majestic waterfall, a painter reviews, it's a waterfall, okay, his work, sitting back in his chair to gain new perspective. He is grateful for the pause, for soaking in the scenery, is boosting his inspiration. This card asks us to wait and have patience, to pause, take a step back and reflect on the project at hand. It's time for an honest assessment of where we stand and determine if support is needed for continued growth and expansion. Evaluate your progress and tend to the final decision. Does this project need more working and weeding before its completion? Are there changes that need to be made? Progress may seem slow, but with patience and honest effort, you will collect the first fruit of the harvest. You're getting there. The wheel is changing. I know it's frustrating. We've got absence, delay and separation in this reading. So I know you've been feeling kind of frustrated, but it's coming, you're there is, and it might be to do with these youthful energies. You might be young, very young, although I don't know that many young people watch me, but maybe it's something that happened to you when you were very young. So have patience and keep going. We know you can. It's such kind of strong energy that you've got on the table here. And we know that love is coming. And here with the, what are these called? The Oracle of Mystical Moments. So these go with those other cards. We have the Observer. Okay, so that's interesting because this last card sees him sitting back and looking at his painting and at the waterfall. And here we have the Observer. She's watching through a camera. Slightly reminds me of me in my youth. So maybe I'll tell you a little bit about that. A tiny thing, which is when I was young, I had a camera, a beautiful Contax camera that I loved so much. And I took wonderful pictures of all my friends. It had a lovely portrait lens. So I was constantly focused on people, and people relaxed because even though it was a great big clunky old SLR film, they got used to it, and so I got these beautiful portraits, and people still, pull them out for birthdays of kids and stuff and say, God, those are lovely. It came to represent focusing entirely on other people, okay? So this has got something to do with this reading, I'm sure, because it's coming to me so strongly. And in a way, putting so much focus and love on them that I was neglecting myself behind the camera, that I wasn't thinking about what I wanted. I was watching all their children growing up, all their loves coming and going, and I felt a bit stuck like this energy at the time. I'm happy to say I'm really not in that state now, but it was something to do with not focusing at myself, not turning that inner gaze onto myself and working out what I wanted. Now, in a sort of weird, sort of circular way, I've just taken that camera about 6 months ago to be mended, and it disappeared, and it was lost by the guy that was mending it, and it caused great upset for me, and I kept sort of going back and trying to get somewhere with it, and we got into a bit of an altercation, and eventually, as a way of making amends, I did buy a new one, but he found me a perfect working order because that camera had died. I'd given it to my mum, who has those funny electric feeling fingers that can break electricity. I'd given it to her to hold, and she'd broken the electrics, and I'd managed to resurrect it just once, but it had never worked properly again. And he was going to look at it, he then lost it. So, long and the short, I've bought a new one. And I was thinking, gosh, I must make sure my relationship to this camera is different. Of course, film is not something we do all the time, but I want to take pictures of all my grown godchildren and my friends and my family, but maybe I need to sometimes be in them. I've got a little kind of clicker that can mean that I can be in the shot. Maybe I need to set up the camera in that way. And more than that, maybe I can appreciate the art of what I'm making, and maybe I can share it on Instagram or something, not just give it away, see that my vision has value. Now that, let's see if that has any bearing on this, because in terms of your, I don't want you hidden. You need to bring yourselves out of the backdrop, because maybe there's an element of that here. You need to be valued, like the Queen of Pentacles, and we know that the Seven of Pentacles was helping her do that, and so I think that is talking about valuing yourself more highly. And then so the Observer, patience again, another card of patience, awareness, focus. A woman is looking through an old-fashioned camera, ready to take a photograph. She observes the landscape before her. All is quiet, all is peaceful. We don't know how long the woman has been waiting for the perfect shot. She has the patience to remain focused until the decisive moment presents itself. Strength lies in her calmness. She lives in the present and does not get easily distracted. Okay, it's really beautiful. There's lots to do with patience, because we've got absence, delay, and separation in your heart. We know the wheel of fortune is turning and you are going to get to your relationship. But there's something you have to observe, really look at first with patience, with these energies here, that will then transform. And I think, because I told that little story, I think it's to do with looking at yourself lovingly. I think it's having real patience to spend some really good time, quality time, looking at yourself so that you can become valued with, because there's nothing you need to change. I think it's realizing how amazing you are, turning that gaze, turning the sunlight onto yourself, and realizing that when you do that, you might become a bit more like her, the bougie queen, and start to be very valued by all around you, and then the partnership comes. Then the sort of balance in partnership. If you're in one, maybe you need it rebalanced, and if you're not in one, it comes. Let's see, we'll take some oracles, and then we'll cap it with some tiny tarot. Yeah. Growth, toadstool, I love it. You have got growth coming. It's toadstool, it's kind of from the mycelium, from the depth. It might feel slow, but it will suddenly pop up like a toadstool. And you are making progress. That's such a great encouragement. Let's turn that round. Oh, I've put her back. How strange. I've buried her back in the... Oh, no. Yeah, I've buried her back in the pack like she is a toadstool. Now I can't find her. She's not on the top. And she's not on the bottom. How strange. That's interesting, isn't it? So it's like that. The growth is hidden at the moment, but it's coming back again. And the bard, music, poetry, myth, history, the enchantment of storytelling. Maybe you're a storyteller, maybe you're a poet, maybe this is the true love is to do with your voice being heard, getting in partnership with the right medium to get your voice out there. Or maybe it's just think about the stories that you tell yourself. Poetry, myth. Maybe there is a story that can unlock those things for you. Grandfather fought the sky, that's lovely. It's saying to me, there are ancestors helping you. And Grandfather Sky is kind of like all of this mental energy that we hear, like see here, like the King of Swords, like the Knight of Swords. There's a lot of kind of swordy intelligence, but also maybe a bit of this judgment it's talking about, you know, hearing something from the sky, an epiphany that brings the new dawn. And your ancestors. Right, let's finally, got so much out on the table. It's really lovely. I'm sitting at this nice, beautiful green big table. I'm going to do some readings with the camera turned the other way so that you can just see, not me, but just the cards. I think that would be good. What have we got here? Reciprocity, balance is coming. This one was on its own, balanced on a box. So the balance is coming, the balance of your emotion. Oh, I love these cards. And it's in love. So we've got the Two of Cups 3 times. We know you're finding your perfect partnership. We've got the Ten of Pentacles twice. So there will be a balance. There will be great love in your family, great stability, great generational wealth, really wonderful partners, building that kind of family around you. And the Ace of Wands, this wonderful, passionate new start. So have, oh, now the sun, finally. Breaking out literally for the first time this morning. I think it's so beautiful. Like patience, patience. You are really getting your wish fulfilled. You will find this perfect partnership. It's so lovely. It really is so lovely. I love those cards. I would like them. Anyway, see you again. See you soon. Bye.